is A Who All Gonna Be Their podcast, a place where you get to be an exclusive member of our very entertaining group chat.
What's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
We making it.
So in the building today, we got Treese and we got our boy Eli ready to cover BBCAN.
Hey, y'all.
So welcome to another episode of A Who All Gonna Be Their podcast, the place where you get to be an exclusive member of our very entertaining group chat.
That part.
Did I come to the wrong place? This isn't Survivor?
You in the right spot.
Oh,
You in the right spot.
gonna talk about this BBCAN.
Whew, Lord, BBCAN. So many emotions.
So many emotions, so much drama, no feeds.
Ah.
Almost a perfect combo.
Listen, okay, let me tell y'all, before we even get into BBCAN11, I stumbled upon a little tea last night at like 2 a.m. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I guess I was a little late to the party because it was a couple hours before that. But I don't know if y'all seen it and or heard about it, but Bayleigh and Swaggy C from BB20 went on a podcast.
And said what?
It's a mess. They went on this podcast, and I guess it's a podcast about relationships and stuff like that, and different types of relationships. Moral of the story is Bayleigh wants to have an open marriage. Swaggy, hand quotes, agrees and or not disagree with it. Man, okay, we're gonna talk about it. So,
I gotta bust my drink out for this one.
Listen, get your ginger beer.
Get your alcoholic beer out.
Oh, first of all, don't do that. Y'all know how these people be. This is black cherry cream.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that sounds fire.
It's delicious, and yes, it's not alcoholic. For the people listening,
especially if it's ice cold, I bet you that's delicious.
It is. I put it right out the cooler. As everybody said.
Perfect. So basically, the podcast is over like an hour. First of all, if you're gonna listen to it, skip past 10 minutes because the way this podcast has so many ads. I said, Jesus, that she must be getting a bag. Because okay, listen, I was giving my baby a bath at the time, and so I had it playing. And so, you know how like you'll just skip forward, but you know, she's a little baby, so I'm not gonna leave it in her bath. So I was just like, I had to listen to it. So I was just like,
right.
Am I on the? I thought I had skipped to the wrong episode or something. Then they're like, "Oh, let's welcome Bayleigh." I was like, "Oh, okay, then here we go." But anyways, moral of the story is Bayleigh. To cut it short, so y'all can get a little brief update. Back during the pandemic, Bayleigh was feeling some type of way. She felt like Swaggy wasn't giving her enough attention or time, and she felt, I don't know, like she wasn't getting enough attention. Swaggy was working his ass off apparently because there are people in Bayleigh's circle. I don't know for sure if it's her family, friends, maybe both. They were saying how Swaggy doesn't fit the criteria for her. He doesn't fit the lifestyle that she was living. Everybody know that Bayleigh's family is pretty wealthy or whatever. Do you remember what her family does?
They do a lot of real estate. For sure. They for sure do real estate. I know her mom does. Okay. Sure.
Well, she comes from a very wealthy family. So they didn't think Swaggy could, live up in a marriage to have Bayleigh at the standard to what she was used to. And so that got in his head, he says, and so he worked his behind off like nonstop. Bayleigh was saying there were days he would just lock himself up in the office and come out for some food or something, and that's about it. Like he was working nonstop. But hey, it ended up paying off. Swaggy got the bag. He apparently said, like, yeah, we could literally retire right now and we would be good. But he's still continuing to work. But in that time frame, after they got everything together, she felt ignored. She then got pregnant after that. If you got ignored, then how'd you get pregnant? Okay, I'm stopped. Pause. Erase that. Not just play. But anyway, so then they had kind of talked about having an open marriage or whatever. Bayleigh, we all know. I don't know exactly how she identifies. Is it bisexual?
She said.
I don't know if that's her exact term.
Either bi or demi, I think, would be the terms.
One of those.
Yes. But she is interested in women as well. And so she did have a conversation with Swaggy about not inviting, that would be a different story about wanting to have not a relationship. What would you call it?
I mean, she was calling it a girlfriend.
Yeah, right.
It's a relationship.
Okay. So having a girlfriend or whatever. And so they had talked about it, then she got pregnant. And then after, she had the baby and stuff, then Swaggy apparently said, they circled back around to it because he didn't want her to feel like you got pregnant and we had this baby, now you missed out on it. And so she keeps, basically he's saying that there are times when she feels like we should do this, and there are times when she feel like we shouldn't. He's like, if we go out on a nice vacation, or say we have a month and we go travel, or we'll go have a nice date or something, it's fine. And then like the next month she circles back to it. So it seems like what she's doing is flip-flopping. Mm-hmm. To me, the vibe I'm getting is, hey, I'm all cool when we up here, but when we low and we're not really feeling each other, or we have an argument, or we're upset, I want to go find a girlfriend. So now let me say this. Everybody's definition of marriage is different. But that whole till death do us parts means if I get mad at you for not taking out the trash, that don't mean I'm gonna get a girlfriend. That's just me.
Yeah.
But how y'all feel about it?
Go ahead, Eli. I feel like I talk enough on this podcast. Go ahead, Eli.
I mean, we have to acknowledge everyone's different. Everyone's relationship is different. What their wants and needs are is different. And shoot, I think Swaggy picked a pretty good hobby to be married to the money. He's almost in open relationship with the money.
Listen,
that's true.
But nah, I mean, you have to respect it. And the main thing is, it's not like they're harboring feelings or any animosity. They're open with it, and the fact that they're talking about it,
I see a little animosity.
I like it.
I don't know about that one, Eli.
I'm gonna have to put the buzzer on that one because with the buzzer, you were doing good till you got no, but and this is all circumstance because we don't know because we're not them, but based off of the nonverbal cues that Swaggy was giving in the little clip that that we were able to see, his words were saying one thing, but his facial expressions were the way his eyes were moving and his body language was telling a whole nother story.
Listen. I look at all body language all the time. I'm telling you, the first comment. Okay, first of all, when the podcast even first started and they defined the idea of an open marriage, they couldn't even agree on what the definition was. I was like, red flag right there on the play. Exactly. We 2 minutes into the conversation, y'all already don't even know
2 separate pages.
Exactly.
And so that being that's a huge red flag, but it's also throughout the conversation and listening like what was going on. For me, I felt like Bayleigh was being a little bit selfish because she's like, I want him to feel like he's enough, but in that same breath, they're like, but she did. In that same breath, she's like, but I just feel like I got so much more love to give. More, you got your husband and child to get that love to. Why you got to go find somebody outside to go give that extra love to? Okay. And then with Swaggy, it's like, I don't know. Like Eli said, he could be on the same page, truly down for it. I don't feel like he is, but regardless, I hope that he's actually being honest about how he truly feels, because the same prison that Bayleigh says she'd be willing to suffer in this marriage,
he's gonna be in it too.
He's gonna be in the same one because he's not voicing the boundaries that he may have or what he truly desires from this relationship. But 2, going back to when you said like her family or friends or whoever like kind of pressured him to, go get their bag. He was always getting a bag. Eli talked about this in a group chat. Swaggy has always been a bag chaser. Like he's always been a hustler grinding. Right. But I think he just took it to this unhealthy level that it went beyond a reasonable capacity that he's neglecting Bayleigh. And now that the fact that she's voiced his concerns, you already, like you mentioned, they're at a point where they can just retire. You don't have to keep chasing this thing no more. So regardless of what was said before in the past, that's no longer the reality anymore. Clearly, you can provide her with the lifestyle that she's accustomed to and probably more now. So you need to recognize that you're working, although it was, started by outside factors. You now know what your wife needs. you need to be tailoring it to that. And as a father and as a husband now, your life has to change. So you may have been a bag chaser before you met Bayleigh. And at the beginning when y'all were just, dating, or y'all just jumped to, being engaged.
Not even dating.
Not even dating.
Got married, got engaged in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
In-person contact.
That part. And so it's like, you're not that person anymore. You're a husband and a father now. So your life has to make adjustments to accommodate this new life that you have. And I think he needs to realize that if he hasn't already.
I feel like Bayleigh thinks it's like her. Yeah, I can see that. I think she thinks that her feelings are valid because Swaggy ignored her. And to some extent, sure.
She getting her lick back. That's what it seems like.
That's what it seems like. Yes, to me. Now, of course, who knows what really goes on behind closed doors, but on the outside looking in, that's what it looks like to me. Like, she's like, well, you ignore me. I'm about to go give me a little girlfriend, and we about to down in the valley. You know what I'm saying? Yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I'm not saying that she's wrong. Like, you should what's the word I want to look for? You should
voice the concerns.
Fulfill your spouse's needs, as much to your ability. You shouldn't ignore them. So in that sense, I do think Swaggy was wrong in that sense. Like, yes, you're working, you do this, but you still have to attend to your wife. That is through your wife. She's human. She has needs. She has wants. And so you're gonna reap those repercussions if you don't, fulfill that need. But it's like, we're married. You can be mad at me, but you want to go with somebody else? I don't know.
That's the solution.
The big thing, I think the moral comes down to is everybody's definition of marriage is different. Yeah. Now, if they agree to this and if they both agree to it, that's their business, right? They can do whatever they want to. They can go have girlfriends, whatever, and come back together and have more kids and be happy, successful, whatever. But I'm just saying, on the outside looking in, like, what I see, Swaggy was not feeling that. And then the fact, like, even in an interview, the reporter, I can't remember her name, Shan, I think was her name, if I'm not mistaken. She was saying that he's like, so y'all got engaged because you got pregnant. And they were like, no, we got engaged because we miscarried. And my jaw dropped. I said,
y'all, why would y'all say that?
That's business. That's y'all business. Y'all, that's pillow talk. And it's just like, and you know what? Like, whatever they say, I applaud them for being honest. But I just hate it because there are so many people on the internet right now that just hate Bayleigh, that hate Swaggy, hate Black love. And this is just something for them to point their finger at and be like, told you so. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see that.
So that was a real thing. I hate that for their relationship. But I mean, at the end of the day, whatever they agree to in their own marriage is whatever they want to do. I hate the fact that they opened it up to the public, though.
Yes, they should.
That's what bothers me. Like, they better have got paid a bag. I'm talking about a big bag to do all that.
There's probably millions, hundreds of thousands of people. Why'd I say a lesser number, but there's probably so many relationships out there that probably have similar issues, whether it's like attraction based or effort based. There's people that have to work 12 hours a day just to survive, and like, it's somewhat
so you
similar.
Don't have a choice.
So I think it's a good conversation. Me personally, I feel like I'm happy that they're speaking out about it, even though people might not agree. It's a controversial thing, especially as the
for sure
host was saying. Not everyone agrees with this type of stuff, but it's a conversation that, I mean, maybe other relationships out there will hear it, say, you know what, we agree. We don't know if we take that step that they are, but it at least like opens the conversation and, I don't know, gives people a perspective on how some relationships really are. Not everything is a fairy tale. Not everything is smooth and clean. You'll have different.
And maybe not everybody meant to be married.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, what it sounds like to me is like Bayleigh loves Swaggy. I think that's like she says, that's my main guy. But when you say main, that means you got other main. I should be the only. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like when you take a vow of marriage, that's what turns that main into only. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I got strong opinions about it, but
right. As a fiance, she definitely got something.
As a fiance,
I know. Treese has a ring. She has an ultimate say on this pod.
She will not have the ultimate say over me. No, just
whatever.
But no, I think these are all really great points. But I agree with you on that. The point of Eli about it may help somebody else out there in a relationship that's going through the same thing. Like one of the quotes I got from a mentor that sticks with me. He was like, sharing your story does two things. The first thing it does, it cuts your own shame in half. And then the second, it may cut the shackles off somebody else. And so that has stuck with me.
Release me from this marriage.
So you never know your story can be helping. And so I applaud them for the courage, because they take courage. I mean, an insane amount of courage.
It's a lot of courage
that I don't have. To go out here and tell the whole world what's going on.
I'd rather eat glass.
I sweep the ocean.
Then go on a podcast to tell the world. That's just me. But anyways, y'all got anything else so we can move on into this?
No, as we wrap it up, I'll just say, podcasters, bloggers, reporters, journalists, please do your homework though before you interview people about certain topics, because
it was a little lackey.
Because what did she say, Teresa? It was like, girl, what if
she was shocked. She was shocked that that he proposed so early from the show and about the miscarriage and all of that stuff.
She didn't even know.
She didn't know nothing about none of that. She was like, what, huh? And I was like, that's like a main thing in their storyline. Like, come on.
Yeah.
They're not like us. We do our homework sometimes. A lot of times. Not
majority of the time.
But anyways, y'all, if y'all have any comments about that, go on and shoot us a comment on Twitter, Instagram, wherever we are.
We're in the live chat. We'll get to it.
Yeah, right. We'll get to it eventually.
This is pre-recorded, so we won't see it when you do it, but we'll get to it.
We gonna get to it. We gonna swing back around to it. But anyways, that takes us into our BBCAN talk. I'm gonna update y'all on last week. We all know that DJ Dan was the HOH. His initial noms were Hope and Renee. Hope, I don't know what he was smoking on. I don't know what he was doing. Asked to be on the block. I don't know why he did that.
He was given despair.
He was giving, what are you doing to me? What is you doing, Hope? You didn't want to be here, go home. But anyways, so there was a whole big thing where he was just like, I need to prove myself. Because he lost the HOH cup. I need to prove myself. All the guys' ego. I mean, normally the guys have ego, but the guys' egos this year is like ridiculous.
Because it was like, Rob was pissed too when he
Rob cried. I was like, oh Lord, I'm all for a man crying, but like, bruh, really? This what you doing? Yeah, like place. It was like the final three.
Second place.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it was like final three, HOH I lost, I'd cry. Yeah. But no, number two, it's one person that's left the house. But anyway,
maybe he was justified though.
I guess so.
I guess
so. Well, you know what, Eli, you're right. Maybe maybe he didn't really believe it, but his subconscious self was like, "Hey, you in danger, girl."
His future self has projected himself in the past to let him know.
Yep.
You in danger, and you winning this, you losing this HOH is gonna cost you the game.
So basically what happens, they do the veto comp. The veto comp was it was actually a good comp. It was where you stick these little things, toothbrush into these little patterns, and whoever did it the fastest won.
With the most having the most standstill.
Yeah, there you go. Without them falling over, right?
Yeah.
So Hope ended up winning. I think he went through and beat all 5 people. And then
what happened first is there was a round for everybody, right? And the person who completed their little toothbrush puzzle, they got to get a bye into the final round of the next challenge. And so that determined the order in which they would compete, since Hope was second, and then
there you go.
Hope faced off against each other competitors. And then he beat them subsequently.
Yeah, Hope got last place. He got last place on that puzzle. Then knocked out Renee. Then knocked out Vanessa.
Yep. And then last but not least, little punk ass Zach got up there.
Miss Kim K of Ottawa.
He got up there, and how many more did he get? Did they say
3?
How many more?
He beat him by 3.
Huh? By 3. Eric, go ahead and finish telling us. You got the details.
Screaming. So Hope, he beats Renee, he beats Vanessa, he beats Kuzie, and final rounds between him and Zach. And he's like, there's no way Zach is gonna beat me. He's 100 years younger than me. Okay, 100. Clearly youth don't matter. But anyway, so he knows he got this in the bag because he's been doing it. And you know, when we watch BBUS, when they do those head-to-head challenges, the person who's done it the most typically wins because they got the strategy down.
They got the rhythm.
Exactly.
And so he kind of had this in the bag, or he thought, because apparently Zach had a good strategy. I don't know what it was because he didn't explain it, but he's like, I got a strategy and I'm going to use it. And he used it.
Wasn't it bringing out like more 2
5
than just 2? Yeah.
Yes, there we go. Yes, he brought out like 5 at a time rather than 2 like Hope was doing. And so when it came down to it, Zach beat Hope by 3. And this set off a lot of the drama that we missed on the feeds because we don't have them, but the show kind of gave us a little clip of it. After the veto comp, Hope goes over to Vanessa and he's like, did you throw the comp and then tell Zach how to beat me?
I was like, where did that come from? Was it just me? Because I was like, are we watching the same?
Yes.
I'm like, I ain't even see them communicate. I ain't even see them talk to each other. So I was like, wait a minute.
I was like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, what is Vanessa? I know Vanessa, like, why am I in it?
Listen.
And so that gets her, like, he questions her, and that kind of sends her in like a little spiral because she's like, he's accusing me, and she feels really bad because she's like, I would never do that. Like, Hope, like, they're good friends or whatever. And so she starts crying. And Zach thinks it's because she lost the comp. So he's going around, he's talking to Kuzie saying, oh, she's just an emotional person and she don't need to play this game. She's going to be emotional, X, Y, and Z, right?
Oops, shouldn't have said that.
Because I think our good sis Kuzie packaged that information and ran it right back to Vanessa. because not too long after that, like while he was telling Kuzie that, Hope and Vanessa repaired, like she went and told him, she's like, it wasn't about you. Like, I would never do that. And he was like, I'm so sorry. I was just in my head. They fixed everything. So I'm sure somewhere along the line, Kuzie and Vanessa had a conversation. She told her what Zach said because Vanessa went to Zach, was like, we need to talk. And so she was like, I heard you've been calling me emotional and that I don't need to be here. She was like, well, let me tell you something. You can have emotions and feel emotions in this game. You can play this game and be an emotional player. And there's nothing wrong with feeling your emotions and expressing those emotions. And he was like, well, I'm not saying it is, but I just think, she's like, no, there is no getting around it. I can be emotional. You're not going to tell me I can't feel my emotions. Right. And so it was kind of like a stalemate in terms of Zach wasn't trying to hear nothing she was saying. So, and she picked up on that because he went back downstairs like nothing happened. And I think she was like, oh, okay, you want to dismiss me? Because he's been dismissing a lot of people lately.
Has been.
She goes down them stairs and she basically she was like, okay, you want to play? I got you. You know what, Zach? In front of everybody, because everybody in the kitchen.
She had time today, huh?
Yeah, time. She said, you one of them people that think you're not want to be nice, but you're really not. You're not a nice person. And matter of fact, I don't care. I'm just blow the game up. Here go Anika. Don't do something you're gonna regret. I'm not gonna regret it. I'm not gonna regret it. I want you to know, Rob, Zach was trying to get you on the block instead of JM. He was gonna backdoor you next week. And you're basically the plan for this week.
Is.
And so everybody's like, she ain't lie. And everybody's like, what is going on? Zach can't say nothing. He's like, what are you talking about? I know it is. I had it. I talked to JM. I know what was going on. You're the one behind all these things going on in his house. And you're the one that's causing the problems. And so everybody's like, they're just flabbergasted at this point. And so with these cracks, with her revealing all this tea that's scorching hot, Santina somehow wakes up. Again, we don't know the timeline, but she's in her confessional. Oh my gosh, how could I have been so foolish? Like, it has been.
We've been trying to figure out why too, ma'am.
And so it clicks for her. The Zach he tricked her, duped her, and he's doing the same thing to DJ Dan. So she goes and tried to plead to DJ Dan. She's like, listen, I was where you were at last week. People, I had to pause this real quick. Why are they so afraid to say folks' names?
Oh my God, these are the most, yes. Like even today. We don't get to that. It's so crazy. Like,
what did Monique say? If you're not gonna say their names or leave it on the playground.
Listen.
Okay. And so she was like, because there were people in my ear and they pressured me to make decisions that weren't mine. And this is a personal vendetta that Zach may have against Rob. And so if you're gonna don't allow them to put their personal vendetta on you. And he's like, well, I don't know. That's what they've told me, that this was best. And I don't know. And then he's in his confessional. Well, after Vito, so fast forward to Vito, Zach takes Hope off the block, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dan puts Rob up. And he's like, I could be getting played by Zach and whatnot, but I just don't know what I could have done.
And how many people left are there? How many people does he have to choose from? 11, 12? There were a lot of more people.
The whole house.
I'm just like, you were the HOH.
Santina put you up last week. Not to call out Santina, but like,
hello.
No, to call out Santina. That's an easy nom.
She should have been the first person.
And there's no blood on your hands because it's expected blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead, ma'am. Take a seat.
And if she would have had to exit this week, that'll just been her fault.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just so frustrated with Dan. I'm like, how could you be so silly? Like, you acknowledging that you know you're getting played at this point, but yet and still you chose to go along with the plan that wasn't yours. So you tell me you don't got no targets in mind. You don't have no path to see where you get through in this game.
Look,
no allies outside of Zach, who was trying to get him out last week on the low. Or not totally. But if John Michael won Vito, I think it would have been Dan to go.
It would have been Rob. They would have put up Rob.
You're right.
But even now, in the conversation, Zach was telling Ty, Dan gotta go next week. So it's like, and it's probably gonna tie into who's HOH, and Dan may be going home this week like a dummy. And so, but one thing too that was brought up that I thought about too, I'm like, Zach, that was so stupid. And Ty, I don't care for Ty, but he seems to know this game a little bit better than he let on in his interviews, because when he was talking to Zach about, he's like, why did you win this veto? You didn't have to win it. You should just let Hope win it. And I was like, yes, like, why would you win a veto that you didn't have to? That way, exactly. And that's why it's going to come back to get him, because you should let Hope win so he could take himself off the block. You was obviously going to get Dan to replace him anyway. So why
you would escape the week?
Exactly, with no blood on your hands, because then Vanessa would have looked silly. Because there's no way, so he just reinforced everything that Vanessa was saying, and everybody has begun to believe and know that Zach is the one that's causing chaos in his house. He's been, manipulating and puppet mastering these HOHs. So he's public enemy number one. But moving on to Thursday's episode, eviction episode, just to quickly run through it, is like his hold on his house. Everybody was so scared of him. Even Captain of Canada wasn't even bucking up. Like, Zach was coming for him. He was dismissing everybody. So there was a conversation when Rob figured out that he was going on the block, because Santina told him, she was like, yeah, you're going on the block. They're coming for you, Rob. Like, because he didn't want to believe the boys were after him. For some reason, he was still holding on to this. Even after all the blow up, he was like, there's no way they're doing it. And she was like, I'm telling you, they're coming.
They're about to do it.
He was like, so what are you saying? She said, I just told you they're going to put you up. And so when he got put up, he just didn't have no fire.
Oh my God. What was he doing?
Where was the fight?
It's like he was checked out of the game.
He was remaining cryptid too. He's just like, there's a person doing whatever. There's y'all.
If you don't say these names.
Even in his speech was great. That was a great, like, try to save last ditch effort speech. But he wouldn't even say Zach's name.
Even to Arissa.
I don't know what it is. Don't nobody in this house want to say Zach name. I don't know what kind of mojo voodoo Zach done put on there. But something is up. It's like if you speak his name, like
he should not.
He should not be named. There you go. I was just about to say. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, that would, now if I was gonna make a title for this episode, that's what it would be. He who should not be named.
Listen,
because like you mentioned, Eli, even when Zach when Rob was evicted, he didn't even tell Arissa. He was like, I just believe someone. She said, who? Stay the game.
Because you aren't coming back in this game. So you might as well just say something.
Exactly. And so the other part of the episode before his eviction, I know we're kind of jumping back because it just comes to me as it comes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So before he was evicted, there was an uprising low key on the horizon. It was brewing. And I was on the edge of my seat because I'm like, hold on. We got a blow up yesterday for the veto episode. Are we about to get a flip?
Listen.
Are we about to get a flip? Because we got it.
It seemed like it was close.
Season. And so you had
early too.
Early, you had Captain Canada, that's Jonathan, who's Rob's best friend in the house. That's his number one. And he's like trying to plead the case to Kuzie and Anika. He basically like, listen, us together, we can fight the power, which is Zach and Ty by extension, and we're going to be your champions. We will shield you. We will fight for you. And he's explaining all the details. He was like, I was with the boys. They turned on us, and now we're by ourselves. If Rob is gone, I have no one. I might as well just sacrifice myself and go on the block. And so his pitch basically to Anika and Kuzie, it made sense. They were sold, apparently. That's what they said. Vanessa was obviously wanting to keep Rob. Santina wanted to keep Rob because her and Zach clashed because she was like, I just don't see why we got to get rid of Rob. And he was like, well, this is what I feel like. She said, but it's for your personal game. What about my game? And this is where I have a problem with Zach because Zach is running the game. Like, kudos to him. Like, I don't have no problem with how he's controlling the game. Like, because it's game. And if y'all allow yourselves to be puppet master like that,
then that's y'all fault.
That's y'all fault. But the way he dismissed it, he didn't dismiss Santina's concern. She's like, if we're working together, why do I not get a say in, saying why I feel like this isn't the best move? Dismissed her. Rob crazy because ain't nowhere in the world my name was in your mouth and I got put on a block because of you, and you gonna tell me I'm not really having this conversation with you right now and just get up and walk away. Who?
Like, that's a millionaire mindset. That's what that
the way
is.
I would have followed him. Oh, you gonna hear me talk?
Like.
And Rob just sat there and took it, and then he called himself coming for Captain Canada, Jonathan, on the stairs. He hey, I need to talk to you, clear something up. Whatever you heard about me, that ain't me. I don't know what you've been saying. And then he was like, is it under basically like, are you getting that? Or is it understood? And he was just like, okay. And he just walked down. Are we good? We good, right? We good. The way he would have got tossed down them stairs.
Hey, they were nose to nose, face to face, like a UFC fight about to happen.
Yes.
And I would have Zach accidentally his hand. I would have hit a little bow in there.
He would have got a oops down that stairs.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm just like, y'all let Zach play in y'all face because ain't no one in the world he would be talking to me like he crazy, like he talking all to y'all. But
all right,
it's neither here nor there. Rob was evicted, 4-7 votes, so we did not get the flip, and I was disappointed. But a lot of controversy with the flip not happening. I thought it was silly. I thought they should have flipped, but people are saying no, it's dumb because Anika, Kuzie are good with Zach and Ty, and there's no need to cause trouble on that side because Rob is not going to be a number for them. He's going to work with Santina and Jonathan only. So what are y'all's thoughts before we talk about some more that the feed or dailies and who's HOH now?
I think it's smart that they didn't flip. I like the fact that they got out Rob just on the sole fact, like the writing's on the wall for Zach. Zach is going to go.
Yeah.
Eventually, like everyone knows what he's doing, everyone's aware, and even the votes today, like I swear everyone was anti-Zach with their vote outside of Ty.
Yeah,
like everyone's still in the back of their mind. Renee's pitching that she wants to get Zach out. Rob's pitching that he wants to get Zach out, and so ultimately, everyone's against Zach. Zach can't win out from here. He's no Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin couldn't even do this. So. Right. I think he's going to go eventually. Might as well keep the worst person, more predictable person, than keep Rob.
I hear that. And Trish, you can say something, but I have to provide them on mine. I get that. But I feel like it's going to end up being like a Mike Boogie Will situation. Everybody know they need to go, but it's like everybody know they're a target for everybody. So somebody's eventually going to get them till they don't. And
wasn't Dr. Will at least likable, though? He at least had a cool personality.
To some extent.
All right. But I'm thinking in terms of all stars. Like everybody know you're a threat. Like you can't hide who you are. Like we know how you play this game. And so I just feel like or I would just say Cody from All Stars 2 too. Like everybody know you need to go. Everybody know you're the one that needs to go. But if somebody's always
it's automatic, right?
Exactly. But if somebody's it's the group think, it's the bystander effect. If everybody's always going to assume that the other person is going to do it, to nobody eventually does it. And then you end up with people like Zach in the end because everybody was counting on somebody else to do it.
Exactly.
I mean, who likes, at least Cody, people liked him. He had Danny, he had Gushing Nicole. It felt like everyone at least liked him as a friend. Enzo. But who truly likes Zach outside of Ty? Who wants to work with him? I can't name anyone outside of Ty.
That's true, but we're gonna see.
We're gonna get to
we got a new HOH and he ain't getting put up.
Okay, so
he lives another week.
Listen. So this is gonna lead us into what we got a daily this morning. It's gonna lead us into our next daily. So the votes to evict Rob were Santina, Hope, who else?
We got Jonathan.
No, they were to keep Rob. They were to keep Rob.
I mean, keep Rob. Santina, Vanessa, Hope,
and Jonathan,
and Big John. Yeah, Captain Canada. I like Captain Canada. So this leads us into where the daily popped off today, and it's Santina and Ty and Vanessa. They're having this conversation. Ty is kind of going in. It's kind of calm, you know, when we first pop in or whatever, and he's asking her about the vote. Vanessa's denying the vote, right? And she's like, well, I don't know. And it's like, well, there's 2 people pinning on you. Of course they didn't say who 2 people, because they don't like to name names on this cast, which is crazy. Ty kept going back and forth with Vanessa, back and forth. It was just like, why are we beating this with a dead horse? And then
he's trying to strong arm a confession.
That's exactly what he's trying to do. And then he's like, well, Santana told me that she had voted to keep Rob, so I respect that. But apparently Santina told Ty that Vanessa had came in and was like, hey, like, you still with the plan, which the plan that Ty is saying that Vanessa is talking about is to keep Rob. And I'm like, you know what? Why does this matter?
It don't.
Rob is gone. He started raising his voice. He's very condescending. I'm gonna be very real with you. I know it's only the second week. Ty was still kind of on my radar. He lost me with this. You talking to me like you crazy, and I almost went off on him from Texas. I did. But he was just talking like I love it, and he kept like demanding these answers from Vanessa, and I was like, when the last time you won HOH? Huh? And Santina, you shut your mouth because you didn't even win HOH last week. Zach did. So you shut up. This is what I wanted to say to her too. She was kind of like low key piggybacking off what Ty was saying. And yeah.
Wait, hold on. You tell me Santina ran back to Ty and Zach?
Yep, did idiot. So they was kind of go back and forth. It got a little heated. Vanessa was getting, frustrated or whatever. She gets frustrated.
She had her own. She ate him up.
She did. And so Ty's like, well, if you don't want to deal with conflict in the house, then you shouldn't have came on the show. Ty, kiss my ass is what I would have told her. What I would have told him, because he has been talking to her crazy. So anyways, they kind of go back and forth. And then finally, Vanessa goes off and she's talking to Hope and telling him what happened, whatever. So Ty ends up going into the bathroom and he meets up with Big John. And he's like, hey, is there anybody I need to be like looking out for? Which I think he was asking, like, is Vanessa trying to drag me? Since he just had the argument with her, I think he was just being paranoid. Which, if I'm Vanessa, yeah, your ass going on the block next. Don't let me win, because it's easy, right?
Oh, I wanted her to win, or John to win.
And so he was just like, no, he's like, I haven't heard your name, but I think people know like we're close. So if, I don't think people would tell me if you were a target, but I haven't heard your name or whatever. Like in the midst of their conversation, they're talking about the Rob vote. Of course, Rob and Big John were very, very close. So everybody knew like he was gonna vote for his boy or whatever.
Right. And
let me stop this. If I'm gonna befriend anybody in this house after this week, it's gonna be Big John. Big John is loyal like a mother.
He loyal to the soil.
Baby, he been talking about Rob all week like it was his little baby brother, and that he had went off to a war in Iraq and he had came back and got a little PTSD, so he trying to save Hope. And man, you would have thought these were blood brothers the way Big John has been talking about Rob for the last like 2 days. We don't get a lot of daily, so that has to tell you a lot. That man is loyal to a fault. So anyways, he going back and forth about this. He said, well, you know what? Like, when we get the chance, we got to put Vanessa up, whatever. He's like, because Big John and Vanessa are apparently close, but, you know, they say they connect on a personal level because, you know, they're both have families and they have kids or whatever. And he's just like, oh, no, we never talk game, but, you know, we just connect on a personal level. So I was like, oh, yeah, you know, if y'all connect personal level, that's cool, but just watch it with the game or whatever. So he's already trying to start.
Just watch it with the game.
Yep, watch. He said, exactly. So he's already trying to like, you know, put a bad taste in everybody's mouth about Vanessa. So then toward the end, Anika and John talk. It wasn't really much game talk. They kind of talk about how they're, you know, trying to get the hang of the game. But I just wanted to put a highlight over this is that Big John was saying that he really appreciate Anika being in the house because, you know, she's come from a different culture than him, obviously. And she's cooked some of the foods from her, from that her family has taught her and that she knows, and telling her about different traditions her family has. And he like really appreciate that because he's like, I would have never experienced or knew about these things if it wasn't for being in this house. So I appreciate you teaching me about your culture. So I just want to shine light on that because I thought that was a great moment. So if y'all do a fluff, y'all can throw that fluff in because I thought it was really sweet. But anyway, so then we transition to Kuzie and Ty. Kuzie and Ty talk. I love that Kuzie has won this HOH. Kuzie won the HOH. We don't know what the HOH is yet. But they said it was like a calmer HOH. I don't know what that means. I guess it wasn't something that's
it wasn't an alpha bro calm.
No, it didn't sound like it. But so Kuzie won the HOH and she's having this conversation with Ty. And I love how straight up she is. She said, look, Santina is great for your game, but she ain't good for mine. So what we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So as of right now, she's having a conversation with Ty. And what Kuzie wants to do is put up Santina and DJ Dan. I really wish she would put up Santina and Zach, but we'll get there.
I mean, she basically put up Zach twice. That's what that means.
Listen, basically, right? If she could. So she's trying to figure out, Ty is trying to figure out what to tell Kuzie. He's like, oh, I know, but you know what? He basically, in so many words, he basically said, hey, yo, don't put Santina up because I got her. She do what I say. He said, you know, I don't trust Santina. You know, I think she'd come after me or whatever. He's just like, no, not with me around. Who are you?
He think
you couldn't even get her to vote out Rob.
Listen, who are you? So anyway, so he basically like, I got Santina and I know I'll have a bag, you know, I'll have her looking out for you, And Kuzie was looking like, no.
Choose me.
What's up, Eric?
I hope she stick to what she wants to because he's saying, I got her. Okay, you got
That's
her. I don't.
Listen, I'm HOH, not you.
Because you say you got her, she gonna do what I tell her to do. Okay, so if I'm on block, you gonna tell her to vote me out, then what?
Yep.
So no, she going on this block. Unless you want to go up there.
And listen, if anything, that tells me if there's ever a situation where I'm on the block with Ty as Kuzie, you telling me Santina got your back, she gonna vote for you? No, I'm getting everybody out the house that's not gonna vote for me, and you just told me that Santina ain't gonna be one of those people. Bye, she gotta go.
Got to go.
So in the course of this conversation, he basically says Ty wants the noms to be Vanessa and DJ Dan. What DJ Dan? Don't know about like DJ. I feel like I was just about to say if I had to put a definition, DJ Dan just be there. But that's pretty much where we left off. They cut the feeds a little bit right after that. So as we know it, the initial nom should be if Kuzie sticks to her guns and she doesn't get persuaded or any more tea or pop off game don't happen. Should be DJ Dan and Santina, and I really hope DJ Dan win veto just so Zach can go up. But there is a little talk on the timeline to say that it wouldn't be smart for her to put up Zach.
Right.
And you know what? I may agree.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I may agree because look, but I'm gonna be very real. I don't like Santina. But I'm gonna if the votes are if the two noms are Santina and DJ Dan, I'm gonna want DJ Dan out. DJ Dan did very, very well in a physical comp.
Yep.
Now, not to say Santina does pretty good in comps too, but there's a higher likely chance that DJ Dan's going to beat me than Santina. Santina's a target in the house. The girls don't like her. The girls did have a conversation about Santina already. They like, we know you ain't for us. You know, you rocking with the boys. She's a target. I'm sorry. I'm keeping the targets out the house. If I don't have a target and if there's nobody in the house that I know that is known to target me, I'm just going to take a shot and shoot at somebody that can beat me.
Yeah.
And DJ Dan 9 times out of 10 could beat her. And she has a higher possibility of beating Santina, I think, in a comp.
Yeah.
But what do y'all think? You think it was right for her to not? Well, allegedly, we don't know yet, but you think she should put up Zach or no?
Go ahead, Eli.
I say no. I mean, ultimately, in my mind, Zach's going to be another buffer for another week. Like,
I agree.
No one, at least it seems like Zach is somewhat cool with Kuzie, somewhat cool with Daniel.
Yeah.
So it's like her allies will be solid if Zach wins next week. But if he doesn't win, it's also going to be Zach and Ty probably going on the block. So I'm cool. I like the decision. Put up people where there's a justifiable reason. They were just HOH and they had garbage HOHs. And so let's just keep it pushing. And yeah, I think she can make it out of this week with very little blood on her hands. Very little people upset about the noms.
Yes.
That's a huge thing.
I agree.
DJ Dan Santini is easy way out for the week, I think.
But the problem is if they wanted them come off the block, because who's going to be the renom?
Somebody come off, then you gotta take a shot. If that, get it. We here. I'm here to play. Zach or Ty.
Now that would be funny to backdoor Zach, and he gets through the back door that he didn't send everybody else, the other two people home through. But I don't see her doing that because, like Eli mentioned, like you mentioned, like it's a buffer for her. So if you win somehow or Ty wins, she knows she good. Or if one of the other people wins, she should be good. My only worry, and I'm just always thinking long term, and I've seen these games too many times. Zach has proven that he likes people he can control. And with with Kuzie staying firm, if she sticks to the Santina DJ Dan,
she could be a target.
She could be a target because he's gonna be like Ty. Because he's already said he's already mentioned that she's the smartest woman in the house. And so that with her sticking to her guns, that could be like, I can't work with that.
You know, I ain't think about that. That is 100% true.
Yeah.
So people gonna call me crazy.
Yes. No, that's the truth. Let me mark this 47 minutes and 30 seconds. We'll see if he target. I guess it's Kuzie. Hopefully not, but oof.
That's just in the back of my mind. That would be in my mind because it's like seeing how he's done and how he's played. Ty too. They like the strong arm folks. They like clearly. I got Santina. You can't say that about Kuzie. And people who like to control folks, they don't like folks they can't control. So we'll see.
Well, I guess we'll see what's gonna pop off. We should get another daily, so we should have noms tomorrow. Ooh. Maybe because these digital dailies don't really be daily, so who knows at this point. But until then, unless y'all have anything else. No.
Love a split vote. Shout out 7-4. We see it so often in BB where a 7-4 turns into a 10-1. Yeah. And happy to see that there's drama falling out because of that. So
yes. If only we had fees to witness this. This season would really low key be eating right now. It can only half eat. It's like I'm half full.
As Canada does. Canada does. Continues to eat. They did. You know what?
Yep. This is very true.
These last two episodes.
I'm gonna blame the producers, the higher ups.
For sure. It's like with these last two episodes, I'm like, okay, now this is the Big Brother I'm used to.
Yes.
Like, I like this. So we're gonna give y'all that one. Y'all ate that little one thing. Y'all ate that
one little thing.
Sure did.
One thing. So, but listeners, viewers, that's all we have for you today. We thank you as always for tuning in to Who All Gonna Be There podcast. Please follow us on social media, Twitter and IG, and our YouTube channel. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And turn on those post notifications. Until next time. Bye.
Bye, y'all.